Let's bring in Katie Pavlich, editor at townhall.com, and a Fox News contributor. Katie, great to see you. We'll soon learn whether or not the administration is really considering delaying the lifting of this policy, considering there are predictions that border towns could be overwhelmed with 10 to 15,000 people a day surging across the southern border in the coming weeks as a result of lifting that policy. You can tell me what you expect to hear from the administration, knowing those predictions are out there, while also the president is facing this opposition within his own party. These are 10 Democratic senators that are breaking with President Biden on Title 42. That list could grow, but that is a number of Democrats that are speaking out against what is about to happen.
Yeah, so the Biden administration for months has been pressed on whether they are going to repeal Title 42. They've punted it to the CDC, saying it's a health issue, and therefore they're the ones who would decide. But the president does have the authority here to keep it in place or to implement other kinds of policies that would force illegal immigrants to wait in Mexico for their asylum claims. But as Bill Melugin has been reporting, and he actually was the first one to report, that the administration has been releasing single adult males into the interior of the country, flying them all around the country, putting them on buses in the middle of the night for months. And so you've listened to the Border Patrol Union, you talk to agents on the ground, and they say Title 42 is technically in place, but really the administration has ignored it for the Northern Triangle countries while claiming they are expelling single adult males from Mexico. So when it comes to what's going to happen if they were to repeal it, it will obviously get worse, but it's one of those things where they've set the standards so high for how bad things have gotten that having 5,000, 8,000 people coming over per day, that is a horrific standard. And if you talk to Border Patrol, they're not actually patrolling the border. They're simply processing these people, which means that the cartels have more room to carry out their exercises and their activity, their trafficking networks. And also it allows for this massive national security threat that we've seen, which is thousands of people a day getting away undetected, unvetted, and going wherever they'd like inside of the country.
Not to mention these 42 individuals that Bill Melugin is reporting that were on the terror watch list, arrested at the U.S. border since President Biden took office. That is a lot higher than the 23 originally reported, a number that seemed to be easily dismissed by this administration. Katie, last thought on that before I move on.
Well, I would just say that the White House and the press secretary, Jen Psaki, was asked specifically about this, the terrorist watch list and the number of people who have been arrested at the border. And she said, well, they were arrested and therefore the system is doing its job. When you consider there are 600,000 gotaways since Joe Biden took office, you don't know how many of those people are A, on the terrorist watch list, but B, you don't have to be on the terrorist watch list to have bad intentions for American citizens. And so to just wipe it to the side as if it's not a national security issue is the reason why you're seeing so much pushback from Democrats in an election year, because this illegal immigration problem, this open border issue, is not just about a humanitarian crisis, which is obvious to anybody watching, but it's a national security issue. And it, again, goes to this idea that every city in the country is now becoming a border town based on the resources they're lacking to take all of these people in.
I want to finish up by asking you about our top story at this hour and reaction from passengers to no more mask wearing on airplanes for now. Katie, listen and watch.
If you choose to, you may remove your mask.
Delta position is masks will be optional this evening for all crew and passengers as well.
Masks now optional for employees, customers, following the White House.
Okay, so now some are saying that that is an example of how happy people are that this has gone away, at least for now. There is some polling that shows that some will prefer to wear masks when traveling. So we'll see where all this goes. Do you anticipate an appeal?
I think we'll have to wait and see, just given how political the CDC has been, and that the White House said yesterday from the COVID coordinator that CDC had asked for another extension, saying 15 more days when they have had 2 years to really assess whether this was going to be something they want to continue to implement. They're splitting the issue here. They're saying DOJ is going to wait. They're not asking for a stay, so the mandate is lifted, but they're kind of holding on to that. So if later down the road, say in the fall or after the election maybe, they can re-implement that on that issue. So I have to say, I was on a plane when this mandate was taken off. People were excited, and the benefit is that if you still want to wear a mask, you certainly can. That's up to you.
And some, as we have seen in the video, are still choosing to do so, and they're rightly entitled to do that if they choose. Katie, we will keep watching all of it, and it was great to have you kick off our hour for us. Thank you very much.
Great to see you, Sandra.